Welcome to this explainer. If you're looking to completely rethink how professional influence is built, the source material we're unpacking today introduces an absolutely fascinating paradigm shift. We call it the architecture of altruistic networking. We're going to explore a highly structured, super actionable approach to creating lasting professional value. And the best part, it actually feels authentic, sustainable, and incredibly rewarding to build.
Okay, let's dive into this. Are you networking the wrong way? Most of us are intimately familiar with the sheer friction of traditional networking, right? It's that immediate, kind of awkward calculus of who can do what for whom. You step into a room or jump on a video call, and there's just this underlying uncomfortable sensation of everyone sizing each other up to see exactly what they can extract.
Section 1. The Transactional Networking Trap. The source material points out exactly why this traditional method feels so incredibly draining. Constantly chasing those short-term transactional relationships, it's highly ineffective in the long run. We end up expending massive amounts of energy trying to force connections that, well, they just lack any genuine structural foundation. And the absolute biggest pitfall? Only reaching out when you need something. Seriously, imagine the sudden panic-inducing stress of realizing you need a favor or a new client right now and frantically scrolling through your contacts to drum up a conversation with someone you haven't even spoken to in 2 whole years. It structurally damages your social capital. Your network stops being a supportive community and just evolves into this desperate list of emergency contacts.
And this brilliantly illustrates the core difference in mindsets outlined in the research. On one side, we have the hunter. The hunter treats networking exactly like a vending machine. Put a business card in, expect a favor to pop out. They only show up when they're hungry for something, always aiming for that quick win. But on the other side, we have the farmer. The farmer completely understands the compounding interest of social capital. They nurture relationships over time by consistently giving help, sharing valuable insights, and supporting others long before they ever need a harvest. It's a sustainable, deeply value-driven mindset that easily outlasts any single transaction.
Let's look at Section 2, Becoming a Network Nurturer.
Let's step far away from the anxiety of the hunter and really explore this paradigm shift. Your primary goal is no longer about what you can extract, but rather how you can consistently prioritize the success of others. So, the architecture of altruistic networking is defined as a strategic approach centered on mutual benefit, long-term rapport, and consistently providing support to peers. Notice the word strategic in there. This isn't just about being a nice person for the sake of being nice. It is a calculated, highly intelligent career architecture. It's a continuous loop of adding value, rather than just a sporadic one-off transaction.
Zero. That is a huge concept for us today, because zero represents the absolute core requirement of this entire altruistic strategy. You must offer assistance with zero immediate expectations. Literally zero. When you share an insight or offer to help a peer, you have to completely decouple that action from an expected return. The source material highlights how often people fail at this by creating what they call covert contracts. Doing a favor and then immediately sending a follow-up email asking for an introduction in return. Doing that puts you right back in the hunter mindset. The magic of this architecture only activates when the expectation of return is firmly set at zero.
Which brings us to Section 3, Building the Favor Bank.
Now, you might be wondering, how does giving away value for free actually translate to professional influence? Like, how do the mechanics of trust really work in this altruistic framework? Well, it all comes down to building a reservoir of goodwill through consistent, small acts of kindness. The source material refers to this really powerful concept as creating a favor bank. You aren't just doing random good deeds, you are systematically filling up a massive reservoir. And the research emphasizes that this reservoir isn't measured by huge grand gestures. Nope, it's measured by small, compounding deposits of social capital. Over time, that reservoir becomes an incredibly deep well of influence that pays dividends in ways you simply cannot predict.
And the reason this works so effectively comes down to the psychological concept of signaling theory. When you give help without expecting immediate returns, you are sending powerful, undeniable signals to your entire professional community. It demonstrates your reliability and shows a genuine commitment to your peers' success. Humans are evolutionarily hardwired to trust reliable cooperators. By adopting the farmer mindset, you're actively signaling to everyone around you that you are a highly valuable, trustworthy pillar of the community. And that is exactly what cultivates deep, long-term influence.
Let's move to Section 4, Your Altruistic Action Plan, and see how this builds into real-world application.
Let's look at how this builds into an actual daily practice. In reality, farming looks incredibly mundane. It is definitely not about those grand, flashy networking events.
It's about spotting a classmate or colleague struggling with a project and offering a specific skill you possess to help them across a finish line. It's about coming across a hyper-specific article and sending it to a peer just because you know it aligns perfectly with their current interests. It's making a warm, helpful introduction between two people in your network who could mutually benefit from knowing each other. These things don't require massive amounts of time or money. They're simply small, consistent seeds planted in the ground every single day.
So, the crucial point is adopting a simple internal filter. How can I add value or help this person? Before you hit send on an email, before you jump on a video call, or right before you walk into a meeting room, just ask yourself this exact question. If you make this the primary lens through which you view your professional relationships, you fundamentally change the dynamic of your entire career. You literally permanently shift from extracting value to depositing value.
So how will you shift from hunting to farming in your very next conversation? The architecture of your professional influence isn't built in one day, but it is built one single interaction at a time. The next time you connect with someone, think about the legacy you're building. Are you leaving them feeling used, or are you leaving them empowered? The true measure of your network isn't who you know, it's who is better off because they know you.